Okay, so this is real cool. So when an organization wants to go through some kind of change management, right, there's some change management structures in place. And so from my methodology, there's 8 elements that are in place to help the organization move through change. 5 of those are short-term, meaning that we implement them now and we see a quick return. And 3 of them are long-term, meaning we implement them now and we see a longer return. And one of those, long-term, is that if a team is going to be successful in the organization and the organization is going to be successful through the change, there needs to be shared learning. And so here's what typically happens in an organization. A team working on some project, they make mistakes and they learn from those mistakes and they grow from those mistakes. But what typically happens or doesn't happen is that those learnings, those mistakes aren't shared with others in the organization. And what that means is it may be because the team is maybe fearful or maybe lacks security to say, hey, I need to raise my hand and say, we blew it on this one. Or maybe the team is just moving so fast they don't think about it. Or maybe the team sees the learnings that they have acquired as power, as something to hang on to and not share that with others. But the bottom line is that when they don't share the mistakes and they don't share the learnings, the other teams don't grow. And when the other teams don't grow, the organization doesn't grow. So that's really cool to watch that as a consultant going into working with organizations and helping to create an environment where teams are freely sharing information, their successes and their failures. But let me tell you something that I've really been learning. What I've been learning is that we also individually learn. We individually learn from mistakes that we've made, or we individually learn from experiences or from trainings. But the thing is that we don't always share that learning with others. And I think part of it is that sometimes we think, well, I'm the only one who's experiencing this. And so I don't really want to talk about that mistake because I don't want other people to know that I made the mistake. Or I'm the only one that experiences this, so this is just the cross I've got to bear. But development is not a solo job. Growth is not a solo job. So that says when we learn something, it's a benefit for us to share that learning with others. Whether that learning happened because we did something good and we experienced some successes and we say, here, let me tell you about my successes, or whether what we learned was because of some bad decision we made, some mistake that we had. And it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that stupid thing, but I learned from that. Well, guess what? It's likely that somebody else is about to look at that same situation, and it's possible they may make the bad decision too. Where if we can share our learnings with others, individually and collectively, that's a long-term investment that creates payouts that are beyond just today. And that's really what leadership is about, again, is creating the environment within the teams for that to occur, for people to know that that's important. From a leadership of a group is as well, too, to let people know that, hey, we're all learning from each other. Nobody's better than anybody else. Learn from each other. Now, I need to say, that doesn't mean that you need to walk in and say, let me tell you how you need to live your life, because here's the lessons I learned. That's not going to play well. But when you see opportunities and people are saying, I don't know what to do, you can say, well, here's something I experienced, and it might work for you. That's leadership.